That could be the clap or whatever to like sync all this shit up. Cheers. We are sponsored by Sapporo.
Cheers.
Not actually. I don't understand. Can you get in trouble for pretending to be sponsored? And then, like, I guess you'd have to say some wild shit, maybe.
I'm sure they could, but you probably have to get 1 million views before Sapporo even cared. And even if they did, they might be like, we'll give you a sponsorship.
Yeah, me over here thinking that Sapporo cares. They're like,
I think
no.
I mean, if they'll probably be happy to see that people are promoting it, you know?
Yeah, right? Cool, man. Well, thank you for coming over, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I would like to just let you give yourself a quick introduction.
I'm DJ Pharaoh, music producer and DJ. Been DJing since like 2005, doing production since I'll say 2011, 2012 is when I started doing some production.
Word. So I feel like we were at the same point there.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like 10 years. I started producing when I like got out of high school. So I was similar.
Same with me.
For sure. What was it? It was just like such an unsure time. You needed something to like dive into.
Well, I'd been DJing for a long time already. I started DJing when I was a little kid. I was like 12 years old. First time I started.
Let's go with that because I wanted to ask you about when you started DJing. Because some people are like, I'm a producer DJ. I'm a DJ producer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was definitely DJ first. And for a very long time, I was like, I don't want to be a producer. I don't have to be a producer. I'm a creative enough DJ. And like, because in my mind, if you're a DJ producer at the time when I was younger, because like I mostly came up as a hip hop DJ, like scratch battle, like all of that was my shit. Like turntables are my thing. But to me, like a DJ producer at that point when I was younger was like DJ Khaled. I was like, I'm not gonna make beats and be screaming on the song every time and be like, this is a DJ Pharaoh beat and like act like kind of corny. You know what I mean? Not that I don't like DJ Khaled. But like
he's fine.
To me, like that's what it was. I was like, I don't need to be doing all that. And then like as I started to learn a lot more about music, I started to kind of get the itch to try and make stuff. And then you make one beat that's kind of good, and you're like, hey, like I could see myself like doing this more, and started like experimenting with more genres. Because like when I was younger, it was like only hip hop. I was like, I'm only DJing hip hop. Until one of my friends in like junior high introduced me to Daft Punk, and that was like my entryway into electronic music and house music and stuff.
What was the first Daft Punk song?
Oh, I think it was One More Time.
It's just
One More Time, Technologic, like all of the Daft Punk hits. Like that's what got me into dance music to begin with. I had heard electronic music, but like my family didn't listen to any electronic music, so it was new to me. So I just like explored it on my own. Mm-hmm. My mom only listened to pop music, and my dad only listened to like rap and hip hop. So I was like knew all of like the 80s pop songs, like all of the hip hop songs growing up. But
I mean that's good music though.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just like what I started with. I was like, and then once I started hearing more electronic stuff, I started to be like, oh yeah, I could see like how I could mix this stuff together. It sounds cool.
I remember one time in my mom's van, we were driving somewhere, and the song Around the World by Daft Punk came on.
Oh yeah.
And you know how that song is like so repetitive? It's just like around the world. And like I remember we were in the car as kids, me and my brothers and sister, or my brother and sister, and we were just like, is this song gonna go on forever? And like I feel like I'm so much more okay with repetitive stuff now. But like back in the day it was like, what is this? But like that is part of dance music. I feel like is that repetitive nature, you know?
It's true. I guess for me when I was saying dance, like or like EDM, it was more of like the electronic sounds. Because like I do think like when people are talking about dance music, it's interesting because people say dance music, Like people used to call everything techno, if you remember. Like
Yeah.
those
Nobody listens
the
to
dark
techno.
the dark ages. Everyone calling anything that sounded electronic techno, including like my dad.
You mean like techno? And you're
This
like,
techno
yeah.
crap. But I think that like people say dance music, they're like specifically talking about like house, like continuous beat. And like when I think EDM, I just think electronic sounds.
Yeah, no. Now when I think EDM, I think of like trap, almost more, or like heavy dubstep, like bro step or something.
Yeah.
Like first, because that's just so sound.
Because like
designy.
people started calling everything EDM, like EDM. It's
or
the
like
new,
the big room house stuff, like
Yeah,
Zed, or
yeah.
like I don't know, stuff like that, like Calvin Harris, and
yeah, I know what you mean.
but not like the funk Calvin Harris.
Not
you know what I'm talking
not
about.
Funk Wave Bounces Volume 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, the scratching I'm very curious about because that's just like the coolest shit. And like I have like, that's not even a CDJ. It's like just a DDJ Pioneer all in one thing. And scratching, it's just, I've never been like, yeah, I want to learn how to scratch because it's just not, it doesn't seem fun on that. It doesn't have the weight.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know.
It is a little harder on the controllers, but so when I was before I started DJing, I was like probably 10 years old, and I watched this documentary called Scratch. And it was all about like it was a lot about the origins of hip hop and a lot about the DMC. It's a disco mixing competition, which it was just like a DJ. It was a DJing competition, but then it turned into like a DJ scratch battle over time. And this documentary kind of like showcases some of the best like scratch DJs pretty much of all time. It was showing Craze, it was showing Qbert, different like Babu, like all the different like crews, even talking about like A-Track back when he wasn't making EDM or anything.
But when he
Back
was like a kid.
Yeah, he was like 14 years old doing the DMC championships. And that when I saw that, when I was really young, I liked music a lot. I didn't really play any instruments. But I would frequently hear songs and then hear another song and be like, this song sounds so much like this other song. And I would kind of in my head be like, I wish I could somehow show people like how similar these songs are. And then I watched this scratch documentary and I was like, oh, a DJ does that? They're like just showing people music and like picking songs that go together. I was like, I want to do that. I want to try it. And then I saved up all of my money for like 2 years and bought my first little like, it was actually like a MIDI controller setup. So I went like kind of in a reverse order. I went from like, and this is on like my family computer, like Windows 2000 or Windows XP, whatever it was.
That was a good operating system.
Yeah. So I was like DJing off of this like tiny controller that was like, it was a little bit limited. And I was like, all right, I need to like upgrade. I got CD players. And I was like, all right, but I really want to get to scratching. And then I ended up getting like it was like a digital type of turntable. And then after that, I've had a lot of gear in my life. And then after that, I got like the full 2-deck turntable. And I've been rocking with that until just a couple of years ago. I got my first like controller that I actually used to DJ with. But I only use that for like when I need to take stuff mobile. I still stay true to my turntables whenever I can.
So what's your like actual like event DJ gear? Is it CDJs or is it like still?
Oh, it depends on the event. Like, so if I'm doing like something private where I'm just bringing the gear, I'll bring my controller. It's just more convenient. So it's a DDJ 1000. So it's like size of the CDJs. I really like it. It feels like comfortable. At the time that I got it, I was DJing at a lot of clubs. So I was trying to get better on CDJs when I got it. So I just like have like the feeling of it being like CDJs. Because you know you go to a club, like they might have turntables like when you're DJing, but they're probably beat to shit.
Are you excited when you see them though? You're just like, yo, can we plug those in?
I mean, I am, but I also have like been in the situation where you connect everything. Like, have you done like a lot of nightclub gigs?
Not really. I've done some.
You know, the stress of when you're about to go on and you need to plug your shit in.
Yeah. Now, when you're like, is it gonna work?
Now with turntables, that's like times 1,000 because like you need to balance the tone arm and everything for it to play on the record. Well, now you have like solutions that you don't need to actually have a needle on the record, like Phase and stuff like that. If you've heard of that.
What's that?
So Phase is like a wireless controller you could put on your turntable, and it like feeds the signal that would be on the turntable straight to your computer wirelessly. Yeah.
Whoa.
So there's like a receiver for it that you plug into your computer, but it's wireless.
Latency?
No,
it's pretty good.
No, it's like super fast, not noticeable latency, like less than a millisecond or something crazy like that.
Damn.
But when you're setting up in a club and it's dark and you have your turntables, you plug everything in, like get your like sound card that you need to plug in for that. This is like, I probably sound like an old DJ talking about plugging in sound cards. But you plug your turntables into the sound card, and then the worst thing is if you like plug that in, you're not getting any signal from the turntable itself, and you have to like troubleshoot it and figure out, oh, is the needle messed up? Oh, do I need to reconnect it? It's just a huge headache. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just use CDJs. That was kind of like how I got into like using the CDJs, because I was like, I don't want to deal with the headache of setting up turntables that everyone else has been ignoring for 10 years.
Yeah. But have you ever fucked around with like some of the newer school stuff where it's like almost like beat pads and like you're triggering stuff? And
oh yeah, definitely.
You fuck with that? Yeah.
Yeah, I have an XP2, Pioneer XP2. I've played with that for some performances. I have a machine as well that I've used for some like live pad. So I've done actually a good amount of like different drum like live drumming performances. I don't know if you've heard of the Pack Drum Line. So that they're they've just performed for the Bulls halftime show. I did the All American, or what is it called, All American for basketball as well?
I don't know.
It was like the like on. I think maybe it was like Under Armour or something, but we performed at the United Center together. So the Pack Drum Line, it got me. My buddy Perry got me into drumming a lot. So he was doing like a lot of like stuff with like an MPC. So I was doing trying to do the same kind of stuff on machine, and we would kind of just like battle a little bit, like back and forth making beats. But he's like a real drummer, and like the Drum Line, they actually just performed at America's Got Talent as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I was their official DJ, or I still am like one of their DJs, but there's like more DJs in the group now as well.
For America's Got Talent, like you,
I didn't DJ for that. They just had the drum crew for that. Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
That's really cool. Like, so is this a thing where like when the Bulls are playing or whatever, like something's happening and they need you?
It's like like halftime show type stuff. Like coming out with the drums. They mostly have been doing for those shows. It gets hard when you include a DJ in some of the performances, because like if you want to hear the DJ, you have to have like wires and cables running to like whatever speaker systems. So it's just like a little bit easier for them to walk out there march out with the drums.
Yeah, that makes
so like
sense.
If it's like a club setting, like we had a residency at Soundbar for like probably about a year, I would say, where it would be like me and Perry would DJ, and then the drum line would come out at like 12:30 or like 12 o'clock, and like they would do like some sets and like a dance routine, and then we would just continue DJing throughout the night. It was really cool.
Gotcha. So like I'm talking to a real DJ here. I'm not just talking about like myself where it's like, well, I make music and like now I gotta perform it.
I would consider myself a real DJ, but like what does that even mean?
So have you performed in any of those what is it, what was it?
I've had a bad luck streak with the battles that I tried to do. They were all like local, just Chicago ones, but I've done 3 of them. All of them I got drawn to go first.
Oh, no.
Which is always a bad look. And every time I feel like they didn't say what the rules were for like the judges and stuff. So I feel like I got underscored a little bit. But when it kind of feels like it was a popularity contest, it like kind of like made me back off of doing like the battle stuff as much. Not like officially, like I still work on my scratches and stuff all the time. But as far as like looking for those kinds of competitions, because you put a lot of work into it, and to see like 2 people that maybe you're like don't think even have like that much like recognition in DJing to be able to judge you, it's kind of like it didn't feel good,
For sure. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I feel like also going first is really kind of
it was always like they don't explain the rules, then I go and then they say what the rules are, and it's like, okay, great. Yeah. Now I just got judged based off of what?
Yeah, for sure. Well, normally I start out with a question, but we kind of just went down the DJ rabbit hole, which I'm glad we did, because it's very interesting. And I want to pop back to it, honestly. But I do want to ask you my mandatory question.
Sure.
And that is, what was your first concert?
My first concert. I think the first concert that I went to, I actually DJ'd for.
Really?
Yeah.
You're in it, dude. You got it.
So my first concert was I got to open up and DJ for Kid Ink.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 2013, I believe. So he was like just starting to pop off. Just made that song with Chris Brown, Show Me.
I remember because like I feel like I got into Wiz at that time, or was it at that time?
Yeah,
it was a little
Wiz,
after.
Yeah, Wiz was like big at that time as well.
Yeah, but I feel like they had a song, or maybe it was just the fact that like Wiz was like, "Yo, ink my whole body," and then I was like, "Kid Ink, that's like another guy that maybe." No, I don't know. But anyway, so that show.
Yeah, so like DJing the concert and then watching the show afterwards. It was interesting because like that was probably a pivotal point for me because I didn't think that I could, at that point still DJing for me was kind of like a hobby. I liked doing it for fun, but I never thought of really doing it for a career. And I was DJing for a friend's like just some sort of like party, like basement party. And I was DJing and his buddy came up to me. He was like, "Hey, like I'm going to be opening up for Kid Ink in a couple weeks. Like, do you want to be my DJ?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah. Like let's do it."
Yeah.
And then going through that show and like seeing like everyone perform and then seeing like some of the other DJs there who were like on tour as well. I saw their skill level and I was like, "Oh, I'm like way better than some of these other DJs. Like if they can make a career out of it, why couldn't I?"
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been a mentality that I've had for like a lot of my DJ like production careers. Like there's always going to be like that next breakout artist. Like why couldn't it be me? Like why not give it a shot? I always like kind of think like that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I feel like I'm on the opposite end where I'm like, oh fuck, there's so many good DJs, and I'm trying to get shows, and it's just like, oh god. But at the same time, there's room for whatever. Like if you got really good song selection, if you somehow like end up, it's just experience is what you need.
Mm-hmm. And there's always something that you do better than somebody else, or like that something that you can like magnify about your taste or like the way you mix or the way you produce that will draw people to you that maybe someone else can't really pull off.
For sure. Yeah, everyone's got their strengths and stuff. Cool. Well, I also wanted to ask you, where does Pharaoh come from?
People ask me this a lot, but there isn't really that much of a big deal about. I just really liked ancient Egypt when I was a kid. Dude. And like I feel like I just like kind of connected with it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I just sort of like rolled with it. Like when I was trying to think of a DJ name, and I was like kind of like looking. I had like a bunch of books on like Egypt. I was like kind of like thinking like, what should my DJ name be? Because I was going by like, for a while I went by like Ant Dog. His name's Anthony. And then it was like Fro or something for a while because I had like really long curly hair.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like trying to think for a while, and I was like saw some of my Egyptian books and was like, oh, like why not do Pharaoh? That would be sick.
Are there aliens involved with Egypt? Are we like an alien theorist?
I mean, I think that people see the pyramids, and because they were built with such little, what we call little technology compared to what we have today, they just like can't conceive people building them. But I don't think aliens made them.
Wasn't aliens. All right. Just wanted to check in.
I wasn't there. You could try to quote me, but I wasn't there.
All right, just curious. I'm watching this show that's like about ancient civilizations, and it's just like, how the fuck did they build this stuff? It's crazy.
And that's for like a lot of architecture of like the ancient world. You think like they didn't have cranes like we do. They didn't have any of the powered equipment, but they still built like monumental structures.
Bro, they were just bored as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I think that might be it.
And it's probably like where all the money went. Like,
they're like, dude,
all the kings and emperors, they wanted to have ballin' buildings and like spas and like fountains.
What else do we got?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like,
we're going to put a chamber in this thing.
Like everyone needs to know how rich I am. Make that fountain 20 feet tall, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, total derail. Like we could just derail right now. Cool. Well, let's listen to a track. Honestly, let's
Okay, for sure.
just because we have a few songs to listen to.
So this one Ute beat, it was inspired by a lot of the music I was listening when I was on vacation in Colorado, and Ute, I believe it's pronounced Ute, is like the tribes, the Native American tribes that are out there, and they have a lot of flute music. Like it was a big part of their culture. So I was listening to a lot of their stuff when I was like going to the different sites around there, and I think it just inspired how the song got made.
This shit's smacking.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Me how I get the drip, I get drip this, I get drip that, I do drip this,
You know, I wasn't listening to too much different music other than the stuff of the natives, because I was like kind of just absorbing. I was doing a lot of hiking. So I was kind of just like absorbing the nature sounds. And then whenever I was walking through like museum type parts or historical parts, like they were playing a lot of the like Ute flute music.
Where in Colorado is that?
So I went to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So they have like Cheyenne Mountain Park, Garden of the Gods, a few others I can't remember. Red Rocks Open Space. It's close to Red Rocks.
Oh,
like amphitheater
okay.
as well.
Oh, we're talking Red Rocks, baby. No, I'm just kidding. Have you ever seen a show at Red Rocks?
I haven't. I would go back for it though. You know, I was this close to buying like $300 Pitbull tickets.
Oh my god, dude!
But it was like sold out. It was like a sold out show.
Damn. Do you like Pitbull? Like, or is it just that it would be like iconic?
Well, just because I wanted to go to Red Rocks that bad,
Yeah.
like I would have pretty much seen anyone who I could have like stood to see.
I would,
but
yeah.
Pitbull is a staple of if you ever end up if you've been to like weddings, you know.
Oh
like
yeah.
Pitbull is like a staple wedding DJ song. So I've played a lot of Pitbull in my life.
What's the wedding Pitbull song?
Time of my life right now. One was like, "Woo!"
Oh
I had
yeah.
the time of my life.
Isn't
That's like
that
the
with
that's like the hottest one right now. I would say it's even though it's like probably 4 or 5 years old at this point, but
It's a banger though. Yeah. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. I mean, he is just
305.
sick. Yeah. Word. Well, one day Red Rocks will happen.
Yeah.
You'll have to go back.
Yep.
I've seen a show there and it was pretty cool. But honestly, just even going there and checking it out, like it's just
Yeah. So they have the spot that's close to there called the Red Rocks Open Space, which is another place you would like hike around. And a lot of these like parks, they're like not like I don't know if you're like originally from around Chicago, but like we have like parks and trails and stuff, and they'll go like a couple miles, but like these are like 50 miles of trails that you could walk if you wanted to. So like there's just a ton of open area you could like walk around, check out, explore the nature. I was taking a lot of pictures and like videos and stuff.
Yeah. Do you like Chicago? Like, because now it's like about to get fucking cold, or it's already cold.
I hate the winter. I haven't like traveled a ton. Every time I've traveled, it's been to like another bigger city usually. But going out to Colorado, I really had an appreciation for the natural elements out there and like how the landscapes are all different. Like it'll be mountain to grassland to like hilly area, all within your view.
Yeah.
And like you don't get that around here because it's really flat.
There's something cool about Chicago too.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's not
Chicago's
like
cool.
Chicago's cool, but at the same time, it's like, damn.
It's good. it's good in the industry that we're in to be in the third top market
For sure.
of the country.
For sure. Well, okay, let's see. I got some questions written down here that
Sure.
I wanted to ask you about. There's a lot to cover, honestly. You do a lot of things. You wear a lot of hats. But let's see. What do I want to ask you about? Sticking to the DJing stuff, you have a thing called Pharaoh Fridays.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that. How did that start? What is it now?
So in my current job, I do a lot of video production stuff, like live video production. But mostly what I do there is like 3D design. But a lot of the things we were doing during the pandemic, like in 2020, was doing virtual shows. So like a company would have like their training programs and like get their people together, like large companies. And then they would usually meet up at some sort of conference and do like talks and stuff there on a stage. But what my company was doing was putting them in a virtual environment inside of like Unreal Engine, and we would like live broadcast it. So once I was like learning how to do that for work, I talked to my coworker Johnny, aka Hot Rod. He was like my VJ for the Pharaoh Friday shows, and like would help with like all of the like video input output routing of everything we were doing. And I would like build up different virtual environments, and it works like a video game. So I get set triggers for like animations, different like clips to happen. And we were working on that for like a year and a half straight. We were doing it every Friday. We were doing Pharaoh Fridays live on Twitch, where we would go live and I would DJ for about an hour straight, and he would VJ for me, and it would be it's kind of hard to describe without people seeing it, but it's a full like virtual environment that I would be like inside DJing and like live streaming out of it.
Yeah, it looks crazy. I mean, I would encourage you to go check it out, but it's like basically you got a green screen, and then it looks like, you can put yourself in any place.
Exactly.
You could be on a beach. You could be on a big stage with like lasers.
Yeah, like you would think that we were in some sort of like Hollywood studio or something. We're in like this tiny studio. We just threw up a green screen, but we had all of this broadcast equipment from the shows that we were doing for work, and it was kind of just like a side like project that we both like had a lot of fun working on, and we want to get back to doing it. We're probably just gonna stream off of YouTube. We noticed it was like really hard to get people for the amount of effort we were putting in. It was hard to get people to kind of understand like that it was a live virtual environment and that they could interact with it. We would like show the comments on like different parts of the scenes, or if you typed certain like trigger words into the Twitch chat, it would like make fireworks go off or things like that. And like we were doing it like so often, adding these new features, but like I feel like it like was kind of going over people's heads. So we were just like kind of regrouped, like maybe we'll just do like other mixes or something. But we do want to get back to doing it. Maybe have some like guest DJs, maybe some production live streams, things like that.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. I mean, I feel like people would be into that. It's just maybe they didn't know or something. I struggle with the same thing. It's like, like,
yeah,
I think like getting people engaged, whatever it is.
I think I feel like it was my own fault not having like a proper marketing strategy and just like every week being like, all right, I'm going live on Friday. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there has to be a little bit more done. Probably could have done a little bit better with like trimming up some content for social media to promote it.
Sure.
You know how that is. Like it's a grind, like getting like all that content made and being ready to go live. Like you think about it, like an hour. I was also doing a not completely, like 99% different set every week. So it was like all new music almost every week, besides like my own songs and a couple other favorites of mine.
Yeah.
So like that was like a good amount of work, getting a full different hour every week. We were trying to do like seasons. So like the first season we were like in Egypt, second season was in space. So we would try and have different environments set up to do, just different things, like make it more fun, make it fun for us, make it fun for the people watching.
Yeah. So right now it's not happening, but you want to bring it back.
Yes, it's currently not happening. It's paused for right now.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, that sounds super cool. Like
thank you.
I would let me know when it's back because I will be a
will.
viewer.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe we've talked about DJing a lot. Let's talk about the graphic design stuff because that
sure.
kind of feeds into what you were talking about with the
Yeah,
VJ
sure.
guy. Do you do VJing at all, or is it, you said 3D modeling mostly?
Yeah, so most of my work at my job is doing 3D modeling and rendering. So because we do a lot of events, I'll do what's called pre-visualization for the event. So what is your stage going to look like once it's built, or what is your concert going to look like, whatever the event may be, and I'll 3D model, or I'll get 3D models from whoever like designed the rest of the stage, and I'll put materials on it and light it to make it look like how it's supposed to look for when it happens in real life.
Yeah. So it's like a staging, like you're trying to show it to someone to
Exactly.
Then
So
sell
it's
it?
like, yeah, so like showing it to the client, like, hey, like this is what it'll look like once it's done. Like this is what it's
Yeah.
going to look like at the event.
And how did you get into the 3D modeling stuff? Because like I thought Ableton was complicated, or, like DAWs were complicated,
Yeah.
but 3D modeling, I was like, there was a point where I was like, this is really cool. I'd like to learn some of it, but it was such a world
Yeah.
of its own that I was like, I don't know.
What had happened is, so I had done some like a decent amount of like Photoshop graphic design type things, like going through school. I had to make a lot of my own like promotional material, so do like a lot of video editing, also like graphics and stuff for flyers, things like that.
Yeah.
So I had like a little bit of design background before I started jumping into 3D. But what had happened is I was trying to make visuals for myself for when I was DJing for like bigger shows. Like if they had an LED wall, I was like, oh, I need to get my name up there. I need to have like cool animations. Yeah. And then I was like working on, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what did you mainly use to make that stuff? Because
Cinema 4D.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm like
4D.
a heavy Cinema 4D user. Yeah.
For sure. I know what that is because like one of my favorite dudes that makes crazy visuals uses that. But like they always use like that plus this and like all these different softwares to get textures.
So when I was doing the virtual shows, that's an Unreal Engine. And then a lot of like the rendering work and like modeling I do in Cinema 4D.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
But I had started trying to make visuals for myself for when I performed at bigger venues that had an LED wall. So I was like trying to get like logo animations, and it was like real rudimentary and basic types of things. But as I started doing it a little bit more, I was kind of like this a lot. And at the time that I started, I was only DJing. So I didn't start working like professionally in the design field until the pandemic happened. So it was sort of like out of necessity. Like after I had lost my gigs, I was like, well, what else could I do? And I was kind of like, well, I like doing like these designs and put a portfolio together. And that's like how I ended up where I'm at now with like designing job. But yeah, I was just like doing it for fun, like alongside DJing. I would just like kind of try and work on some projects every week and just like kept getting better. So luckily that I had that as a hobby, that was kind of something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like once the pandemic
what
ruined
do I
everybody's
do?
plans. Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially, if your main income is DJing, it's just like, well, you can, as cool as what you're doing with the Pharaoh Fridays is, it's like people want to see live music too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Exactly. And that was another reason why we kind of like took a break from it, is because I was getting a lot of in-person gigs again. So I just didn't have the time to put towards like making it as good as I wanted it to be as well. So I was like, I think we got to put a pause on it for a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like music and streaming is still trying to find a way to like coexist, because there's issues with like, copyright stuff. Like,
100%. Yeah, it was the worst. So I have most of the Pharaoh Friday episodes recorded.
Yeah.
So most of them are recorded, but that's the thing that sucked. Like we would record it, and if you didn't tune in live, you didn't get to see it because it got taken down.
Yeah.
Off of Twitch. So that was another thing that was like kind of like bothering me, because it's like Twitch, like they want you to like build an audience, want you to like be marketing. Basically, Twitch wants you to do all the work, and then they'll give you money once they see that you're valuable.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I feel like I'm working for them and not really getting anything out of it. So like maybe switching platforms will help if we start doing YouTube or something like that.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough thing out there for, like, I think about for this too. It's like, you know, like these songs that we're playing today
Yeah.
are, a lot of them are whips, works in progress. But, you know, some of the videos that I've put up, it's like, you know, oh, we found this song that was, you know, whatever guest, you know, they put it through a distribution company, and then that gets all the checks and balances of like getting tracked. And then it's like, you know.
And there's no like humanness behind any of those like, analysis.
Yeah, like I sat down with the person and they were like, yeah, it's cool. We're going to play this.
Exactly.
But like, what do I got to do now to rectify the fact that this has already been demonetized?
Yeah, for one of my tracks, I uploaded a video to TikTok. It was like the music video. And they like cancel it out, like took my video down, or like took the sound out
for your own,
for my own video. So it's like, who's like checking this? Like obviously this is me posting, you know what I mean? Like who do I, and it just makes it more of a hassle. Like who do I need to talk to make sure that when I'm posting my stuff it's okay? And you see it on SoundCloud all the time too, of people getting like strikes on their own stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's tricky. I've thought about, I mean, I've been doing mix series for the podcast, and it's just like, do I have to make like a separate account or something?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Like have like the burner SoundCloud. I feel like a lot of people have that.
Yeah, for sure.
I just upload private, and if it doesn't get pulled off of that, then usually it makes it. Some free game for some of you producers out there. If you upload it private and it doesn't get taken down, then you'll be good to release it.
Word.
Good.
Cool.
Good to know. Good to meaning it'll stay on SoundCloud, not meaning it's legal. I don't know. This is not legal advice.
yeah. Be careful.
The Pharaoh is back.
So let's talk about Wanna. You did a lot with that track.
Yes.
It seems like probably was the most like balls to the wall marketing for a track that I've seen from you. Like you got,
thank you.
And it looked sick. Honestly, I love the Coke can, and go check it out. There's a Coke can that just says consume, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, hell yeah. But then you did lighters. Like there was a lighter in the video that said Wanna, but then you have real lighters that you're giving out, limited edition. Like, what made you want to do all of that, and how did that end up working out, basically? Like, because I know that probably was a lot of effort.
It was a lot of effort, but it was something that, you know, a lot of times I felt like when I was only DJing, like I didn't, DJing can be lucrative, but I just felt like I was hustling so much that I didn't have the time or the money to think like, how can I really plan out this release? Because like everything I've done like indie release. Like I've never released on a label or anything like that. And I was like, what can I do that'll just be cool, that I would think was cool if I released a track? And I was like, well, I do 3D design. Like I could do like an animation for the music video. That would be really cool. Yeah. Having some sort of element that was like shown in the music video or similar to the music video as like merch or a giveaway would be really cool. So that's where the like lighter came out. And like the song, if you listen to the lyrics, like they're talking about smoking weed. They're talking about selling weed.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't even tell what they're saying, but that's what they're talking about.
Because it's like, or or up. Yeah.
So I was like, well, lighters would go perfect with that. So that was like kind of an easy one. There was like a few other ideas that I had rolling around that I was like, a lighter will be good enough because people get utility out of that, you know? And that was basically what I was trying to do is just like make like some cool promo that I would think would be fun to make and also would like other people would enjoy. Like I as much as I would love to have every song I release be like Wanna, I feel like that was and that was a track I worked on with Palpa.
Yeah.
Which I
Shout
believe
out
has
Kale.
been yeah,
Or
yeah.
Palpa. We could just say Palpa.
I always call people by their producer or DJ name. I just got used to doing that.
No, I get that.
But yeah, working on that with him, and then he also helped with a lot of the like trippier visuals that were in like some of the background elements of the video. I would love to have every song I release to be like that much of a like packaged work of art, but it's like really I noticed it's been really hard to try and get all of my ideas developed enough to do that. Like you can't. I wanted to do that for every song that I released after that, but making that 2-minute music video took like almost a year because like it was just me working on it by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to like trim the fat on the process, like figure out how could I like deliver things in a cool way like this without me killing myself, like working like 100 hours in a week trying to like do these renders, do these animations, you know.
Bro,
what I mean?
you are speaking to the right person. Like you're barking up the right tree because yeah, man, it is tough. Like I feel like that's, you know, part of it is just the process of figuring out how to optimize things.
Yeah.
And then realizing realistically how long it would take.
Exactly. So you gotta like do it. You gotta like do it once and like kill yourself doing it and be like, all right, we can't do that every time, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that I'm glad that more artists are being vocal about this too. Recently, just seeing on Twitter, I've seen more artists be like, hey, like, I don't want to be a content creator. Like, I want to just make music. And like, I feel like that's how it should be. But a lot of artists are like trapped by social media, I feel like. Because back before social media, people were just like passing out flyers. You would like get your name out that way. Maybe you would do an email list, like to email people like when you were doing shows. But I feel like social media kind of grabs the rest of music consumers' attention because like a lot of them are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. But like the artist is on there and they're like they need to be on the platform to like talk to their audience.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do would be to find some way to bring your audience to like your own website or your own like way of talking to them. That's why a lot of artists I notice are like doing Discord channels and like Discord.
Yeah.
Because like you have direct contact with the people who want to listen to your music or check out your art or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, dude, it's a really weird thing because it's like there's more opportunity than ever with social media. But at the same time, it's like you kind of gotta pay to play in certain circumstances too. And it's like, wait, so there's more opportunity, but at the same time I have to do like this and that, all these extra things that I would have never thought I would have had to do.
Like I feel like the expectation is on every social media is do at least a post a day. And now it's only videos that are like getting good reach. And it's like, how am I going to make videos every single day?
Yeah.
Like I'm working a regular job on top of doing like DJing, music production, and like just making art in general. Like how am I supposed to fit that in every single day? It seems almost impossible.
Well, you could do it, but I also understand where you're like, I've been at the end of my day and I'm like, fuck, I have 4 things to do. And like if I'm going to put this schedule on myself, I now have 4 things to do. And it's like, dude, this is ridiculous. And like, of course you need help and stuff, but like also, are you going to put all, like if I was going to be like, oh, yo, I need an editor for videos. Like, am I going to pay you all this money to get like, you know, not that much out of it? And then also just, this is a rant.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm about it.
The algorithm shit. I like heard the other day that it's like, Instagram, for example, will show like 25% of your audience something, and then based on that number it'll then like open the door to the rest of them.
Same thing with like TikTok. I read the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what is that?
So yeah, you work hard to build this audience on this platform, and then they restrict who sees it. So I feel like a lot of artists are kind of opening their eyes to like how messed up that is.
Yeah.
And, like kind of trying to figure out a way out of it. Like I haven't totally figured it out.
No.
Because just ignoring it and not posting ever doesn't help you like really in
Yeah,
this
you're
situation.
damned if you do and you're damned if you
Yeah,
don't. Like
exactly.
it's kind of like, ooh, I don't know.
And then with Twitter, are you a Twitter user?
No, I'm not.
So like with the recent update on Twitter, anyone can pay a subscription to be a verified
Right.
Twitter
I saw
user.
that.
So like I'm seeing people get verified on Twitter, and if you like click on their check mark, it says whether they pay for the subscription or if they're like actually notable. So it's like, what's the point of doing that if someone can click on your profile and
That
just
sounds
know
like
that
a
you
cash
paid for
grab.
it seems like it to me as well, and it also seems kind of no offense to people. Like I'm not trying to offend people. It's just my perspective. Like it seems like kind of weird to immediately like pay to get verified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems like you're just kind of sort of validating yourself in a way versus like actually being notable.
It kind of weirdly reminds me of like paying for a domain name almost. It's like you can get a Squarespace website or a Wix website or whatever, and basically it's going to do almost all the same things. But for some reason it's like sketchy or something. It's like, it's not as reliable, but it's like, dude, it kind of is the same thing. I mean, obviously you don't get all the bells and whistles.
Exactly. Like like to the regular Twitter user, is there a difference if you paid for verification or if you like got verified by the company? Like,
but
do they care?
But it's like astronaut, and it's like none of this stuff is like, oh, you just pay for it once. It's continually every month you're getting hit with a charge. It's like, dude, who the fuck can afford that? I don't get it. Like
apparently a lot of people.
Well, of course there's like shit you can do where it's like, oh, write it off in your taxes. Like, this is my company. But at the same time, it's not like it's free money.
No, yeah. I was just saying like the amount of users I've seen do verification just to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of lame. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I feel like it's kind of lame that as soon as like they could pay to get verified, they did.
Yeah.
But I don't know, to each their own. Like if it's a marketing tactic, like if they're thinking, hey, people don't care as long as I'm verified, they'll think I'm more important.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's like your own marketing decision.
This is like the thing that I don't know, I have like a moral conflict with, where it's like you can do all this stuff because being a human being and being a smart person is about finding all these shortcuts. Like, smart people don't necessarily put in all the work. They find a way, they find a back door, they find a shortcut. And it's like, all right, if you can just shortcut it, then if that's a thing, then do it. And it's just like, but what is the impact of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and we don't know still for specifically the Twitter thing.
And there's a lot of things like that I feel like right now where it's like, although you can do that, it's like, should you do that? But it's like, how can you not at the same time to be competitive? So anyway.
Yeah, true. Because then you're thinking like, well, maybe I submit to this label and they look at my profile and I didn't even pay to verify myself, so they don't think I'm good or they don't think I'm serious. You know, like there's so many more thoughts behind it than just the like, should I do it? Should I pay for it?
There's one thing also to pay for, like the capabilities of a service, where it's like, all right, now you got more storage or you got more whatever. But there's that's like a whole nother field where it's like you just are paying for it for the aesthetic,
to look more official,
to look more legit. So I hope that doesn't become too much of a thing.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Keep
watching.
Yeah, let me know. This is another thing related to the 3D modeling stuff, but I saw that you did a collab with these Converse. It was like a collab that was being done with Converse with someone that you knew, but you helped him with the visuals of it. And I kind of wanted to know a little bit more about that. Did you make a 3D model of a Converse shoe?
Yes. So the project was with this artist named Goldie, and he's a like Web3 crypto art, like NFT artist in Chicago, and he's like been growing a lot the past like couple years. And I met him at one of the like because I've done some art like that. Just in the 3D artist world, I've noticed a lot of those people got into NFTs. So I was kind of interested when I like jump in my feed. Are you familiar with Audius as well?
Why does that sound familiar? What is that?
It's kind of like SoundCloud, but it's like blockchain based. And they give you like credits like for being on the platform. So like being on there, they gave me all these tokens, and I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency really. And then I was like, oh, so this is like worth real money if I wanted to take it out. And then I found out about like Ethereum. This is like a whole separate tangent.
Yeah, I'm down.
But getting into like crypto stuff and like crypto art NFTs, I thought it was like a very interesting way that I saw a lot of 3D artists like posting their work and getting money for it. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try it. Like put out an NFT, it got sold or it got bought, and I was like, this is really cool. Like I want to like get more into the space. Went to like some gallery. Met Goldie. We just kept like casually talking, like checking out each other's work. But he had like a good amount of collectors, and he asked me to help him with this Converse project. So we like talked with Converse, and he had like his own artwork put on a shoe, and he just approached me to create like the 3D model of the shoe that once people bought the shoe, they would also get like this 3D model that they can use in different virtual spaces where they can like customize a character basically to wear those shoes. So that's like what the purpose was. I did a lot of like promo renders and things like that, like pack shots, product shots of the shoes as well. But the like main utility of the project was so that they could be worn virtually in like video games basically in like the next coming years.
Or like the metaverse.
Exactly.
Like
inside of the metaverse.
Is there like a universal file format for like a shoe in the metaverse, or what is that? Is it?
It depends on what that was another hard part of it, is like it depends on what the platform uses. So there's a few standards like an OBJ file.
What is OBJ? Like an object file?
Yeah, basically it's called an object file. Then there's like FBX, but like a couple other formats, and you can like plug those in. And like there was a couple other people on the team that were working on the technical aspects of like writing the contracts, as they call it, for making all of this work in Web3. And like I'm not a developer like that, so I don't know that much about that side of it. I just knew that like they were able to plug my model in so that people would be able to access it once they got their like real pair of the shoes.
Word. So how did that whole process like end up, like what ended up happening? Did the shoes get like
so the shoes came out on October 1st. They're still selling them at this clothing company called Iridium in the city.
Cool.
So they are still selling them if you wanted to grab a pair, and you can also be wearing the virtual shoes that I made.
Dude, that's a crazy thing. What do you think?
So it seems so like random, I guess, if you look at me as like a DJ producer person. Like I'm not, if you didn't know that I was doing that stuff, I feel like it seems random, but that's just like another project, I guess.
I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. It's like you wear a lot of hats. People nowadays have to wear so many hats.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think about that thing where it's like the master, like jack of all trades, master of none. It's like, I don't want like. But at the same time, there's so many interesting things nowadays. It's like, why not dabble?
I feel like most people that are creative, they're not just sticking to one medium. As much as people want to act like they're all about one specific brand of like, oh, I'm a musician, or oh, I'm a visual artist, it intermingles a lot. Like you yourself, like you've worked on graphic design as well. And like I feel like most people who are creative, they'll dabble in a lot of different things. So I kind of find out what the things they love are, and like things they love to work on. And like if you're creative, then you like experimenting with different things too.
Yeah, I feel like it can just be, I don't know, maybe I'm just like OCD about this or something, but like the image that you put out on social media, it's like, am I going to dilute myself by then doing this random other thing? I don't think it really, I think as I get older, I realize that it's not really like that. Like you just, as long as it's good.
I feel like, because I've had this like struggle myself, like should I post my art? Because I noticed like when I post my art on like my DJ Pharaoh account, like it doesn't get the love that when I'm posting music related stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because the Instagram algorithm is so phony.
Who the fuck knows?
Like,
it could just be a bad day.
Exactly. Like I literally, if I wanted to promote any of my shows, I have to like post a selfie beforehand.
Yeah,
like
I've been talking about
you
that.
have to
That's
post,
a thing.
Yeah, you have to like post a picture of a person, like of yourself, to get better, to get like a better spot in the algorithm so more people see it.
Yeah.
That's what Instagram wants. And like, I just hate feeding the machine. Like, I don't want to do a bunch of photo shoots just so like Instagram can have my content for free.
Yeah. Like, is it, I don't know. It's confusing, man.
And also
let's just say it's confusing.
Yeah. And also content is weird to say. Like, I feel like I'm an artist and I make art and I post and show art.
I don't like the word, but at the same time, I find myself using it just out of like necessity or just like not finding a better
because you feel like you need to put out not art, you need to put out content. You need to, and content meaning like you don't care about it as much.
Yeah,
like,
content
like
sounds
just a
like
clip
willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a clip from this, a sound snippet from this, like a whip here, whip there. Like that's what feels like content, but it's not the finished art or piece that you want to put out.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that stuff doesn't get the love that you feel like it should.
Yeah.
It's the battlefield out here.
Yeah, it's a battlefield. Love is a battlefield. But here, so my last question is a callback to my first question. And that is your first concert, but what has been like your most influential concert? And, you know, I think it's fair to ask, it could be, you know, something that you've been a part of, or it's something you saw.
So it could be something that I was like performing at too.
It could be both. You could do one or the other.
So like probably my favorite performance that I did that I'll name was playing Spring Awakening in 2019.
Oh, cool.
Because that was like a moment that I felt like in my DJ career, like I was like working towards being able to do something like that for so long, and just actually being able to like have a set where I was able to play my own music, play all the music that I like to play, like really made me feel, you know, it makes me feel like more complete and more whole. Cause like just on the DJ side, like you will, if I'm DJing like private events, like weddings or a birthday party or like random stuff like that, it's not like the cool gigs where you're DJing a club and you kind of get to play whatever you want, you know, but something at like that height of that big of a stage or platform, and being able to play my own music and having some of my friends like show up to my set, like it just like meant the world to me. So it was like really cool to be able to have that experience. And I think that like that's a memory that I'll like cherish forever, like being able to have that type of opportunity, and like just made me like hopeful that like, okay, the work that I'm putting in and like the things that I'm doing, it's like making a difference. It's like helping me get to where I want to go.
Yeah. Was this at, you said 2019? Was that at, it wasn't at Soldier Field, was it? Or was it?
No. So that was when they did it in Hoffman Estates.
Oh, and now it's closer to Midway, right? Or it's like, or is that the same?
You know, they actually didn't have it this past year. So I don't know where it's going to be.
Oh, it might even.
Maybe it'll be back there, yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I remember going to Spring Awakening.
Well, the Bears are moving to Arlington Heights, right? So
yeah,
maybe the Soldier Field is just going to be a concert venue now.
Yeah, what are they going to do with Soldier Field, you know? That would be kind of cool. It was fun when Spring Awakening was at Soldier Field. So, but yeah, that's really cool. What kind of music were you playing at the festival?
So that was like all trap stuff.
Dude,
yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was all trap stuff, like 3 of my own songs.
Nice.
And I've never been like the type of guy who's like, oh, I need to try and play an all original set, because like I kind of feel like that gets stale. I like to like mix it up a lot. So like even just playing all of my own music would be weird to me. So like I really enjoyed like being able to fit my songs into where I think they belong, you know, and not like forcing them. But it was good to play like kind of like go all over the place as far as like bass music. I played some pretty heavy trap stuff, played some like future bass stuff, some like future beat stuff. It was a good time.
Well, now I kind of want to listen to another track.
All right.
We can do another track.
I'll let you pick. How about that?
Okay, perfect.
You could just go based off the name.
Festy Trap 2.0. Dude, trap music is still like, I'm glad it's maybe coming back.
Huge place in my heart, the trap EDM stuff.
Yeah.
Pharaoh is back.
Oh my god, this reminds me of it's like a Gladiator song and Loud Pack.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going for. It's Festy Trap 2.0, like how they had like Trap 2.0. So it's like Festy Trap 2.0.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
gotta hit him with the old school. Yeah, ho.
That's such a classic. That bass is so wide too. I like what you do with the glides and stuff, like bringing them. You do a lot of work with like stereo panning stuff.
Yeah, I try to like mix it up a little bit there.
Yeah, that's fun. I always forget. I'm just like, oh yeah, you can like pan shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was just like kind of like the origins of me doing trap EDM stuff. I was like, I want to get back into doing like some fest, because everyone was like, oh, I just remember in like 2014, everyone just being like, festival trap is dead. Festival trap is stupid. Trap remixes of everything is dumb. And I was just like, but I like those.
I know, dude. That was my favorite.
But I still like them. So I was trying to like kind of bring back the festival trap vibe with that one.
Does a lot of the production... Let's just talk production really quick.
Oh yeah,
because this is for the
I feel like
producers.
I feel like we haven't talked that much production. My bad.
No, it's fine. Because DJing and graphic design and NFTs, they're all, you know, if we are just the central part is music and production. Like all of those things are also important to that.
Yeah.
You know. But if we're gonna break it down real quick, what's like new in the pipeline for you, like production wise? Like what are you fucking with? Is it like this Trap 2.0 type stuff, or is it...
Yeah, so most of what I work on is trap stuff. I also do like a lot of future bass.
I love future bass, yeah.
But one of the tracks that I put out last year was a song Way with my good friend Marla. And that was like more of a pop song. And like it was received very well, got like a lot of plays on Spotify. So like I've been kind of like going back and forth a lot with like doing like future bass stuff and more poppier sounding things, just because like the trap stuff is really cool, but it still has so much of an underground presence that like I feel like it's a little bit harder to have those tracks pop off between non-producer people or non like heavy EDM people. Mm-hmm. And you know, you have one pop hit, one commercial hit, that's going to fund any underground stuff that you want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do think that there's a lot of good opportunity for, I mean, I would say a lot of these EDM producers are like some of the best producers ever, but like they're very focused on making very underground sounds, when if they kind of flipped the script and made a couple pop songs, like who knows what could happen. Like you could get like suddenly now you have like enough funding or like record label recognition that you can do whatever you want. So I kind of want to get into that lane where I like make some songs that are like commercial enough to like pop off, and then like go back to doing the underground stuff, because there's not really a rule that says once you like sell out that you can't go back to the underground.
Yeah, I mean, there'll probably be some like people that are like, oh yeah, he sold out, whatever. But then
I don't have enough fans for that. It's fine.
But also like it's, yeah, dude, time is money, and if you have money, it's just like, all right, now I can sit down, do a year, and make a proper album or whatever, dive into something interesting. But when you're in like the rigmarole of just like everyday life, and you're like, bro, I don't even have time to...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I haven't had as much releases the past couple of years, because I'm kind of stacking up tracks and just trying to do more cool things like I did with Wana, where it has like a good like marketing blast that goes out, and it's like kind of timed out, like, all right, 3 weeks out, we're going to do this. 2 weeks out, we're going to do this. Like every day of the week of release, we're going to do these things. Yeah. Like you kind of need to have that kind of marketing plan to stand out against all of the 2 million songs that are uploaded to SoundCloud every day. Yeah. You know, you need to have like something whether it's the art, whether it's the music video, whether it's like some sort of TikTok meme that you do, like whatever it is, you just need to have like things prepared and like figure out what works for you to get a song out to more people.
For sure. Where can people find you? Are you doing gigs in Chicago currently? Like if someone wanted to...
Kind of slow season for me right now. I don't currently hold any residencies. I did step back a little bit from like doing club stuff and just more doing like private events as far as DJing, and that was also so I could focus more on production. But if you want to find me online, at DJ Pharaoh on Instagram and Twitter, DJ PHARAOH. I spell it out because people have a hard time spelling Pharaoh. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. Find me on Twitter and it's everybody. Twitter and Instagram, and then it's DJ Pharaoh Chicago for SoundCloud and Facebook. I don't really use Facebook to be honest, but I do have stuff on SoundCloud as well. And then yeah, my Spotify is DJ Pharaoh too. If you check my bio on Instagram or Twitter, it'll like there's the links to like all my stuff, or my website djpharaoh.com.
Got that link tree situation.
The link tree with the infinite links of the billion social media platforms.
Dude, yeah. You can like go, like you find the link tree on Instagram and then you go back to Instagram and you go to link tree. Just fucking in a cycle. Let's listen to one more track. Let's leave the people with some sauce.
Take another pick, man.
Okay. This one's called Throat Punch.
Okay.
You
can go with that one.
I mean, that just sounds like it's gonna hit.
That one's like
good.
more. Yeah, that one's like more aggressive sounding. That's why it's called Throat Punch.
All right, yeah, that sounds like the one that I want.
All right, dope. This one is still very whip, by the way. This one is like not even fully produced, barely mixed.
See, I'm all about that. I love that.
Pharaoh is back.
This feels like the stuff that like I wanted to make when I first started producing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I didn't have the chops.
That was like, this track is kind of like my attempt at doing like dubstep-ish type stuff, because I've never really been like that into like dubstep, other than the like older like 2012 dubstep stuff, like 2012 Skrillex, Flux Pavilion, that kind of dubstep, like even some like Kill the Noise, like those that type of dubstep I was like into when it was newer. But then I just was like more into trap always, and then like newer dubstep I never really has been like in my range of like where I liked producing. But then I heard like a few newer producers kind of like going back to the old school, and I was like, well, I could just do like some bass stuff and call it dubstep, and that was kind of like what I came up with.
Yeah, bass stuff is cool. Mm-hmm. Like I like the intermingling of the genres too. Like you do a little dubstep shit, you add some like dubby aspects, elements, and then it's like a trap thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Everything is just colliding, and it's cool like that, you know.
Yeah, just like no rules, you know. You just like mix up whatever you want.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's so many different sounds. Like, there's so many different sounds out there on Splice.
I actually am an anti-splice person.
You're an anti-splice person?
Yeah, I have all of just my own big ass collection of samples, and I'm just like, to me, I'm like, why would you use splice? Other people have those sounds.
Dude, there's so many samples. It's
I know,
insane.
But you still hear people using the same sounds though.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, one of my friends, Kai, who was on this podcast, he like put me on to this 90s old school, like, where they used to have the samples on the CDs, and like, it's just like you get a track.
The rave ones. Is that the dude. CD? I might have that.
And they're
one
fire.
Too. Yeah.
Not for drums as much, maybe breaks, but you kind of got to spice them up a little bit. But like, yeah, man, there's so many samples out there. Don't feel like you need a Splice account.
Yeah.
For drums, I like it for like one shot kicks. I'm like, that one hits hard.
You would definitely want some like high quality drum. I don't have anything against like getting drum packs. I just like feel like Splice is so commercial.
Oh yeah.
And like so many people have it that I'm just like, oh, I don't want people to have the same sounds as me. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's my own like insecurity of some sort.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's that I've also gone in phases. Like when I first started, I was like, I need to make literally everything.
Oh yeah. Like
and then
not sampling stuff.
Yeah. Like, oh, I gotta make the 808,
the synth from scratch.
Yeah, which I still love doing.
I do like making synths. And a lot of my 808s I do make on my own as well.
Yeah.
Like, but I also like the Ute beat one. Like that was all like sampled stuff, like chopped up stuff. Even like those vocals were like just like Future on there and and that other Chicago rapper. I just like sometimes you just throw stuff in and like it sounds good and you don't want to take it out.
Yeah, that's what the other thing that I was going to say about whips is like I love whips because sometimes the whip ends up being better. Like it's like a better song, but like the mix quality might not be as well.
Yeah.
But like somehow it got sterilized in the process.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Like the last one you played, Throat Punch. I just listened back to that in here and I was like, I gotta like work on this mix more. So it's probably gonna sound totally different when it's out.
And sometimes like you can just push it to that next level, but like sometimes you listen to it too many times and you're just like, oh, I agree. I fucked it up.
So when I produce, I try and make stuff as fast as possible because I don't want to get sick of listening to my own song. Because the worst feeling ever is when you work on a song forever and then once you get to release, you're like, I'm sick of this song.
Yeah, I hate
You're not excited about it anymore. So I try and make my songs like really fast. Like a lot of the songs that you played back, like whenever I know that it's like a good song that I want to continue working on, like most of the bones of it is made in like an hour or a couple hours. Like I've noticed whenever a song where I'm like, oh, this one's going to be like a banger, I've made it really fast.
I don't make long songs anymore. Not like long lengthwise, but I'm saying like unless I've found a way to progress at a steady pace that the whole like it's like, okay, I'm still interested because I've been just continually moving.
Yeah.
But if it's one of those ones where it's like I'm stuck on it for a long time, like I'm normally
then just save it, like chop it and do another song later. I've done that. So I've been good about my file organization for my, like I'll use Ableton, my Ableton projects. And I have every song still that I've been making since 2013. Like I still have all of the projects. And if I'm like, don't know what to do, sometimes I'll just open one of the projects from like almost 10 years ago now and just start messing with it and be like, oh, I had a good idea going here, but I didn't know how to like convey the message I was trying to, or like this, what I was trying to do. I wasn't able to convey it at the time. And now opening it back up, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally finish this up.
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't found that like superpower yet. I like can't, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to listen to old stuff and you're like, oh yeah, there's something interesting, but I'll just make something new. That's me.
Yeah. Well, me, it's more like, oh, the melody sounded good, but something was wrong with the synth, or the drums that I picked were bad. So you kind of like pick and choose, or you just like, I'm like, I don't feel like writing the drums for this track. Let me pull something from an old track, and like now you have drums in there, and all you have to do is some melodies or like make a synth.
Sure. No, I think that is very smart to be organized. I wish I was more organized with all that stuff because you could just mix and match like that, and then that would be your sound, is like mixing and matching, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kind of like Mr. Potato Head with their own tracks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with that, you know, people know where to find you. Thanks again for coming on,
Hey,
man.
thanks so much for having me. It was an honor.
Dude, appreciate that. We could do another one in a year.
For sure.
Little check-in.
Yeah.
I love a good check-in. Cool, man. Well, bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for listening or watching wherever you are.
Yeah, like listen, watch, do whatever you want to do, but there's nothing else for you here. So go find something else to do now.
Check the links.
Yeah.
watch or listen to some more podcast episodes.
Yeah. I don't care if it's a different podcast. Go.
No, listen to Producer.
Yeah. Listen to the next one. Hey. All right. Peace.